Okay. What's up, you guys? Um, if anybody watched The Real or watch Adrienne by Long Houghton, whatever her last name is, she always saying that. So that's what I sound like. But what's up, yeah? This is our 2021 recap.
Yes.
What a recap this will be.
2021 was 2 years and 1.
Dog.
But it went fast though. That's the crazy thing.
That's what I was about to say, but it like flew by, but it was like this.
It was a lot of stuff happening. Like
a very odd year. Like not 2020 odd, but like
just peculiar.
Yeah, like a very so strange. Okay. So we're going to talk about, podcast recap. We're going to talk personal recap. Mm-hmm. So I know we have a good number of bullets here. Where do we start? I feel like we should end on a high note.
Yes.
So
and I think start on a high note.
Okay.
How I want to start is not up here.
Okay, go.
So, and this, Brittany doesn't know anything about this. I was like, I'm doing this whole, I want to give people their flowers, while they're here. So I wanted to start by honoring. So, okay. Every time me and Brittany get up here and do an episode and we have a guest, I never know how to introduce her to people beforehand because I feel like our relationship is there's so many different sides to it. I never know. I don't think I ever introduced her the same way. So I was thinking about that today. We were talking earlier and then we took a mini break before we recorded. And I was thinking about that and I was like, yo, I don't know if we ever figured out what the hell we do because we known each other for so long. Then we started podcasting, but then we became friends. And then we share so many different, roles in each other's lives that I wonder if Brittany knows how much I value our connection. Cause I don't know if she knows that, but I was like, I wanted to take this time to kind of just let her know, this not only because I can be my creative self, I can authentically show up at who I am when I'm around Brittany. And so because of that, the relationship I have with her is probably one of the most valued ones I have. It's up there. There's not many. There's not many connections, but it's definitely up there on the level I really value her in my life. And I don't know, I just felt led to tell her today, to tell you guys to give her flowers because she's such an amazing person and she has such a big heart. And even when she's irritated and frustrated, it's always good intent. It comes from a very, very not good place. And I don't know, I just been listening to the up and downs that we've been having as the year is ending and then just looking at our high points in the midst of all that stuff and how things are just panning out. I just wanted to tell you, girl, that you are amazing, that I value you in my life, that this, if not one of the most important connections that I have, and that you should know that, and that I'm happy to be in your life.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
That was very unexpected, but thank you so very much. Thank you.
Literally just came to me while I was fixing my face, and I was like, I'm going to tell Brittany how much I value her today.
Y'all. Very few times I'm speechless, but I'm speechless right now. But same. I think that, God is he just does things in a very, very interesting way. Yes. And I feel like ever since I introduced you as my business partner, at the beginning of 2019 at that party we shall not name, and I had to introduce you to my mom and my aunts. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what to say. So I was like, this is my business partner. Mm-hmm. However, I feel like that just kind of manifested on its own because like you said, I feel like we play multiple roles in each other's lives. And I think, at least for me, a lot of times when I think about like doing stuff creatively, like there's stuff, of course, I want to do by myself, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh my God, me and Shawana need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Shawana and I need to do that one day. Like you're just, you're in my thoughts. So I appreciate the fact that, creatively, not only do I feel like, we can just create well together, I also appreciate the fact that I feel like you would take a chance on me. Like if it came to it, like if I was like, Shawana, like, I know this sounds absolutely insane, but will you X, Y, Z? And you'll probably be like, absolutely. Like, I fucking love it. Like, let's do it. Like, let's just go. Like, let's have at it. So I appreciate you in that way, because I know it is very hard to kind of just trust somebody in that aspect. I feel like we both have had interesting experiences with people trying to collab or just trying to do stuff and being like,
if you, I feel like we think about the same thing, dog.
Just being like, yeah, no ma'am.
So yeah.
So I'm very appreciative in that way. And then friendship wise, same, because I feel like I have some of my most raw conversations with you out of like a lot of my friends. I feel like you're one of the people that I'm just gonna be like, not that this is gonna be therapy, but I'm not telling you stuff and I'm like, I wonder what she's thinking. Right. Like, I don't feel like we have them kind of conversations. I feel like we just kind of just go in it, we just gonna see what the fuck the other person gonna say. And whatever comes from that, then it just comes from that. And I do not take that for granted, because I have definitely been in friendships or connections where I felt like I either could not be me, or I knew that I had to hold back whatever I wanted to say, or I had to, what's the word? Put a bow on it and make it look pretty rather than, just being my little blunt self. So I do not take any of that for granted. So I'm very grateful, thankful for our connection. Because I don't know how to categorize it either, because it's multifaceted at this point. So thank you for throwing me off. I don't know. I'm gonna let you lead us to the next point, because I literally have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing now.
And it's okay. I thought that maybe saying it up here was going to help me categorize it. I just think it just needs to be, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, y'all. That's my Brittany. So, yeah. All right. With that being said, we are going to segue into this 2021 recap. So we want to end on a good note. Let's start with, okay.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, I think the last 3 bullets appear need to be the last 3 bullets.
Okay. So, okay, cool. Because I was going to say we should start with unexpected events. Because there were some good and not so good.
There were very good and not so good ones.
Yes. So, do you have one off that?
So I started a new job, which was like very, very unexpected. Like, not even like applied for, unexpected. So a huge change. And if anybody knows me at my old job, I will always tell them how we were just kind of like a family. So for me, like, I was ready to move on career-wise, but that was an unexpected change of going from having like almost having like a support system at work to, being in a whole new environment. So it was a positive, change overall. I moved totally
random.
Like, that was more so like, we had conversations about it, but I was thinking more of like 2022, like late 2022, had no expectation of moving this year. Um, unexpected events. Why, like, before August, all of that is very like
blur.
I'm like reaching in my mind, like, okay, what happened?
Oh my God.
I will say this. There was a huge shift in family dynamics on multiple sides of my family. I will leave that at that. So my blood family and family that I am not related to, but that is my family, there were multiple dynamic changes, and they were very eye-opening. And I think for me, not necessarily that I see the worst in people, but I think it showed me how far people will go to save face. And I also learned how influenced I have been by communication dynamics that I was raised with, and how much they have impacted me, and how I am still trying to unlearn that you cannot just let stuff be and not address it. Like, you have to say stuff. So I would say that was unexpected, because I feel like people don't really understand that when stuff gets shaken, like within families, a lot of shit fall out. Like, it don't just be, like branches and leaves. Like, it be like, oh, what is going on? So I think that was unexpected. Trying to navigate family dynamics, and also knowing when, this is how it's gonna be. Like, okay, whatever. Like, some stuff, it just ain't worth the fight. I'll say that. I think those were like my top, like, unexpected things of 2021. I'm probably forgetting some because I really don't remember.
The beginning of the year, which was another year, because that was August to now was part 2 of 2021. So that was the second year.
Yeah, like before then, I'm like pulling for something because I'm just like, what happened? But those are like the major things that I can remember. What about you?
So mine are very similar. I started a new job. I knew I was going to switch work, but I thought it was totally unexpected as well. I applied, but on some, it was something in my gut that told me to apply for the job. I have no other, because my whole plan was something totally different. So starting a new job, I won't say that's the most unexpected term, but the job led me to the most unexpected, which was moving to fucking Richmond. I relocated to a whole new city. In a matter of how many days, Brittany? Like, it was so.
A week?
It might have been a week. It might have
maybe been a week. Yeah, it was very fast.
Like, the shit was crazy, and then it kind of just aligned even with like my life purpose outside of like my new job or whatever like that. But I just saw how everything started to become a step up. Okay, this is making room for this and that as I move. So moving to Richmond, I will have to say, was one of the most unexpected but like pleasant surprises of the year. Being here and being like fully by myself has taught me so much about me. Like, it has taught me so much about seeing people for who, like, just. My other unexpected was I thought I was done pruning my connection circles in 2020. Like, I thought that was done. Could have told me I would still be going through these types of things. So, but being up here allowed me to allow people to be themselves, to accept. I just knew I was the queen of accepting people for who they are, and I'm not as much as I thought. Being here has allowed me to see that, but it allows me to put the boundaries up. So it doesn't have to feel like I'm just cutting people off because I can't deal with XYZ. It's like, okay, they're who they are. I am who I am, and we can coexist with this boundary in the middle. So I don't know. I feel like it's allowed me to feel alive in areas that I haven't felt alive in a long time. But it was a really moving up here was like the yin and yang, because that the side of like acceptance was just crazy. Even because I think we did the episode with grieving people still alive, and I talked about my maternal connection. And even though I've been talking, Brittany will tell you, I've been talking about accepting that for the past year and a half. It did not set in until I was here. Yeah. And after listening to a clip from the episode, like it was playing on autoplay on Instagram, and that jump just like I was not expecting it. Nothing was wrong. It was like, okay, now it's time for you to like just, you're in a good place. There's no negative energy around you. You're not distracted. You're presently here. You're happy. This is something you need to deal with. Now let's deal with it. And it was the craziest mess ever. Not to say that I'm healed, because healing is an everyday thing, but acceptance has set in. Yeah. So, and not just in that connection, and all of them. Like I said, I didn't think that I would still be like pruning and mending my relationships this year. I just knew I was done with that in 2020. But moving allowed me to do that. And I think that's my two. So moving, and then like acceptance in like all areas of my life. Two unexpected big things that happened to me for 2021. So yeah, that's my stuff.
Our next bullet point. So what are some like hard lessons or things you feel like you learned? You talked a little bit about them, but maybe like, you don't have to go in detail about, you know, who, what, when, and where, but maybe some of those like underlying like lessons that you learned.
I had to learn that my priority, like my needs are is my priority. Like, and it should be the number one priority, because any time that I'm operating and it's not, I'm misunderstood in some type of way. My character, like the stuff that I'm fearful of or that I really don't like happens when I don't prioritize myself. So my hard lesson was learning how to prioritize myself, because I didn't know. Like Brittany will tell you, like I start working if I got too much idle time. I got ideas for days. I'm gonna do a project. I'm gonna do something. So it was like, this year was just about like, outside of what you can provide and what you can do, there's a level of like self-love and like the like inner work. Cause I can't even say inner work, because I was doing the work, just like really loving on myself in a way that I hadn't before. That was my hard lesson. I didn't know that would be such a task for me, like being still and purposely not doing nothing, and during that time like really analyzing where my thoughts are going. And I don't know, that whole, it sounds crazy, y'all, but prioritizing yourself when you've been people pleasing or, you know, living a life because you were parented a certain way, it's like changing your whole world, and it's a lot. And so I think that was the hardest thing for me, because once I did that, it seems like everything else smoothed it out. That's why I say that was my hardest. What about you, Britt?
That is very hard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it was. Okay, I have a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think a hard lesson I learned is understanding where my savior complex came from. How that has shown up and how to get it under control. Another lesson I have learned, which was so unexpected, and I just kind of like, this is just crazy. And I'm not to say that this is like never happened. I just don't know if I've ever sat with it like this before. God has provided for me in 2021 that in a way that I have never expected, never like experienced. Like it was almost as if like a lot of things that I either felt hopeless about, or I felt like, oh, that's going to take so long to achieve, or like, when am I going to get there? I felt like they happened, and they happened at a time when I was not trying. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was almost as if God was kind of like if you would just trust my timing, like you would just kind of see like what kind of plan I have or why things happen the way that they do. Because I'm very much, as I've said up here umpteen times, I have an issue with control, as most people do. I don't like feeling like out of control, or I don't like feeling like something is unstable or something is not, going the way that I planned. And for me, I think I am just in awe of God right now, more so than ever in my life, because I just feel like I said, a lot of things that I have wished for, hoped for, wanted for, they happened and I don't feel like I did much. Like it wasn't a time where I was like praying over and over and over for something, or I was like obsessing over it, or I was just like, consciously like, God, like, Lord, like what am I waiting for at this point? I feel like it all just kind of happened and I was just left standing there like, oh my God, like it's finally here. I'll even give the example of like my job. That was my 4th time interviewing for that position. And it was the one time where I was kind of like, well, technically, since I didn't really like, apply, or I really wasn't looking to like go, if I don't get it, it was, it's nice that I got to interview again. And it's the one time that I got the job. So it was just stuff like that. Stuff I wasn't just obsessing over or just like having so much anxiety about. And I just feel like God just laid things out in a way that I was just like, okay, like I need to shut up more often, or I need to not upset more often. I'm just in a place of gratitude, like more so than ever. And it's not necessarily because of what I have. I just think, the way things happen, I just could not be more grateful and thankful for. I'll say that. So trusting God that has been the lesson. Like just trust, just believe that it's gonna happen.
That's one of my in things, because I feel like I started experiencing that after I left my last place of residence, and so I feel like that's what I'm taking into the next year, because it was just like, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? So yes. Okay. So rolling on over, what was like one of your high points of the year and like fulfilling experiences you got to experience this year?
Okay, I'm gonna say this first and I'm gonna backtrack.
Okay.
So I think one of like my high points was us getting our house, but me feeling like I got the house that like I always wanted. Mm-hmm. So I felt like there was a different kind of satisfaction in the sense of like, like I've moved before, like I've lived in places that were like, oh, I really like this. This is nice. I just felt like a different fulfillment came when I was just like me and my husband talk and we're just kind of like, wow, like the one thing that was important to both of us, or like how we saw ourselves living, like we accomplished that. So once again, not having the thing, but the way we can create it to be like a home where we feel like this is going to be like a long-term thing.
Yeah.
And making it like what we wanted it to be. That was a new level of just, oh my goodness. Yeah. My second one would be my birthday. And because I was recovering from COVID in 2020. So like I couldn't do anything. People were either giving me my gifts like after I was good, or they were like leaving me stuff on my porch. So I was just, in the house. So I kept saying like, I really just want to have like, I just want to have a good night. Like, I really just want to have a good night. So if anybody is following me or you know me personally, y'all probably tired of seeing that picture from my birthday party. I do not care. That literally was like one of the best nights of my life. And I felt like it was because of like who was there. I felt like the vibe was right. The energy was right. I felt like everybody vibed with each other. I don't know the last time, and it's probably because of 2020 and then 2019 wasn't the best year for me. I just didn't know the last time I had that much fun, like on my birthday, or like with not just like, you know, bringing a couple of friend groups together, but like just a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I experienced like that level of joy. So it was just like one of the best nights ever to me, because I literally felt like, yeah, I hadn't experienced that much fun on a birthday probably since my early 20s, maybe. It was just a good night. It was good people. It was fun. And yeah, it's something I reminisce about often because it was just a good night. So yeah.
It was fun as hell. Can't wait to do it again next year.
Okay. Like, turn up, okay?
Yes. Okay. Oh God, I'm trying to think. My high point. I feel like all my stuff be so cliche because
ma'am, I just said my birthday. So I mean, I don't really know how much more cliche you can get than that, but
okay. Because I don't because it wasn't just moving to Richmond. It really my high point. Okay, let me think. Because I want to say it's been like betting on myself. Like I've had this, and I don't know, it could be trauma, but it's like I know I can do anything. Like, and I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know if I put my mind and focus to something, I can do. There's nothing I can't do.
Right.
That does not always transcend, but that it would explain why I'll try anything. But I don't always bet on myself to be consistent and see something through. I think I'm scared. I used to be kind of scared for it to like stuff to really like grow into something, and for me to have to, because I always hear God tell me there's more that I require of you. Like, you know, there's more. Like, you're doing great, but you're that's not even your best. Like I always know. I feel like I coast because there's some comfort in coasting for me, and then I like level up a little bit and then I close. But there could be a consistent, you know what I'm saying, like growth thing. And I feel like this year forced me to like see me for who I am and stand in like my personal power and stop feeling like, and made me stop feeling like I needed to be attached to something or someone in order to fulfill the dreams that I've been having since before I knew any of these people. So the ability to scared as hell, because y'all know how they say you sweat when you get anxious. That shit is like real. That kind of fear. Yeah. I ain't never perspired so much in my life. I never thought that I would say that, you know, it wasn't okay. Like the thought of doing stuff when you start sweating. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. But I said all that to say, scared as hell, I did a lot of stuff this year and it has made room for me. And so like reaching out to people, doing collaborations, putting boundaries within them collaborations, not tying myself to people just because I feel like it's a good thing. Like being firm about why I don't want to, like just all that stuff, like completely betting on myself has put me in positions that I've been that I feel like I get to and fall 3 steps back for like the past 4 or 5 years of my life. So that was my high point, because that all of that transcended to physical. Like I literally, before I moved from my last house, every day, like I was just praying, like, God, I know it's gonna be okay, but like this just looks crazy right now. Like what's gonna happen? Like I don't even like, I'm in a position to be doing what I have to do. Like, and God just kept saying, don't worry. Like I would pull my cars, worry not, every time. And it was like, you're taking care of, everything's fine. And when I really was forced to let go and then just trust myself, it was like everything just kind of, it just fell into place. Like, and I didn't need nobody to validate it for me. It was just because you put your mind to it, you trusted yourself, because why the fuck not? And to just like kind of like just, I don't know, everything that I dreamed of. And like I knew I had a hard time letting go of where I was living before, because I was like, this is like my dream house. Like this is what I've always wanted. And I was like, if I'm gonna move, I need that. And literally, if you ever been to my old house and came to where I'm at now, you was like, damn, it almost like it is for me. It was for me. Everything that I have, like I feel like manifested, it was for me. So, and it was because I trusted myself. So outside of what I call the cliche, which is just learning to bet on myself, like really just moving to my spot was like the freaking highlight. I don't ever want to leave home. Like I just be wanting to just stay here. Like if I could just stay home. So that's my high point.
Dang. Party pause, because I can't get over either one of us right now. Shawana.
What?
How the fuck did we not talk about this?
Wow.
How?
What the? Okay. Most fulfilling.
How do we not?
Wow. Brittany, what the heck?
But
that show you.
It did not dawn on me until you started talking. And I was like, yeah. I was like, she's probably going to say something about her book. So I looked down in my office where I am, and I see them on top of each other. And I was just like, I didn't say anything about my journal. So I was going to see if you were going to say something. And just like I thought, you didn't. Then I was just, I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Wow. But that's how you know we don't be doing stuff, just like stuff be birthing in us and we just let it out. And that's where the stuff be coming from. Like
so people, I guess we both forgot. Wow. A fulfilling high point for me was I published journals on Amazon. So I am technically an author. Well, I've been published before, but I'm like legit an author.
Yes. I just had to come, y'all. I use mine, so mine are always beat up. This is not the same one from the other episode. This is a new one I just started. Because and this one I'm not done with, but I use it. Okay.
But not necessarily was the process fulfilling. I think, and Shawana, you're probably have a similar experience. Mm-hmm. It is so weird how people that you have not talked to in years, people you went to high school with, are like so supportive. And you're just kind of like, oh my God, like, thank you. Like,
I didn't even know you paid attention to me.
Like stuff you never see coming. Like, what? Like, oh my God. So publishing absolutely was fulfilling, but I think the response received was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like it's almost overwhelming. Because like I said, it's not that the people around you, not that they don't count, but it's almost like, they're like your family or your friends. So it's kind of like, that's one thing. But people who you don't really talk to, like, yeah, that's just a different level. Or like people you don't know on social media. Like that is a different level of feeling like, oh my God, like people really like my work. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to let Shawana introduce her book, because I don't know how either of us.
I'm mind blown that neither one of us said nothing. So to piggyback off Brittany, we both, and y'all, this shit does not be happening on purpose. Like we don't talk and be like, okay, so you like this shit. I can't explain the connection as I started the episode with, but we both became published authors this year. So the self-love song was birthed from like journaling and meditating, like me coming onto my spiritual journey or whatever, like where I am now. And that definitely was a high point for me as well, because seeing it through, because that shit was stressful. Like publishing is stressful as fuck. Self-publishing.
Well, that's what I originally started with. I didn't start with doing journals, and now it's like, no, damn.
And which is why I hired somebody to help me, because I was like, this shit is not it, y'all. I don't know what it is. And the lady, I chose the person that I did because I also took my chakra healing class with her before I started doing it on my own. And she told me, she said, I'm going to let you know right now. She was like, when you start publishing this book, everything's going to go crazy. She was like, it's going to be chaos around you. She said, spiritually, a lot is going to happen. She said, so you need to ground yourself now, because everything is going to happen to get you to like want to just not do this shit. And when I tell you, honey, that's when everything happened. In the midst of my 3-week fucking depression, I published a fucking book. That shit was crazy.
It was that was a wild time for you.
And then same, the way it was received, like and the way it's still being received. I'm still working on stuff for this. I had to like push stuff out, because if I want to do it the way I want to, I gotta stop rushing stuff. But I mean, the people who were willing to be a part of like the projects and stuff, they just like, when are you doing it? Let me, like, I just was like, didn't even know, y'all. Yeah, that was, again, how we forgot that, I don't know. But yeah.
Really mine. So yeah, don't know how we forgot that. I was just in here like, watch she not say nothing. That's insane. Okay. Your favorite podcast episode?
I have 2.
Okay.
My favorite one was the very first one of season 2. Women empowered versus strong. That was one of my favorites. And the gifts I got, I want to give, we did our women's panel. That was like one of my favorite things we did. And because of a lot of my favorite parts, we didn't get to publish, y'all, like, because we are both public figures on the low. So we can't put certain stuff out, but one day y'all might be able to hear that stuff, but it's not no time soon. But yeah, so like the empowered versus strong, I felt like both of us was coming out of a place of that whole just holding stuff together and feeling like we have to be saviors and stuff, and just into like newness. So like I feel like the episode was so fresh. It was so, I felt like myself again after a long time, and I feel like that's probably why that was one of my favorites. So
gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't pick one either. If I had to go like this, just based on this season, it would be reframing our thoughts.
Yes, that was
good. And that was one of my favorites, because I think that even what you said earlier about how hard it is to actually like legit prioritize yourself. I think it's very easy for us to say we're going to do something, even in giving advice. It's like, well, I don't understand why you won't just da-da-da-da. And it's kind of like when you've been thinking or doing things for so long in a certain way, having to literally like reframe your mindset, change the way you perceive stuff. That is like work. Like that's not nothing you like wake up one day and you're like, okay, I got it. Like I have this new thought process and I'm just going to operate differently. Like that stuff takes work. So it was just one of my favorites because it just highlighted, going from A to B and what that looks like and how long it can freaking take, right, or how much pain you can actually put yourself through for the sake of, this is how I've always done things. And even though it don't work for me, this is all I know. And getting on the other side of that. So that was like one of my favorites. And then I would say, I don't feel like the gifts I want to give should really count because that was just a good night. Like it was just really, really nice.
I mean, it was everything.
But I would say the Grief series part 2, grieving those who are still alive. Yeah. I just felt like I texted you when I was editing it. I was just like, this is gold. Like it just, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that level of just the vulnerability, just the lessons learned, even us shining light on how we had to maneuver as kids, because this is what, we were dealing with. I just feel like though that's one of those episodes that no matter what year it is, like somebody is gonna come across that and it's just gonna be life changing for them.
Yeah.
So that would be my second favorite.
That was timeless, like you said. That was a really good episode, y'all. Okay, so I'm about to put Brittany on promo duty, because if y'all go to the page, go find the video she did. I watched that Jane like 10 times, like I won't dare. Like I didn't hear everything that went on.
Wait.
Edits. I was like, ooh. I'm gonna find a way to link that Jane, but y'all, I'm telling you, just go watch the reel on Instagram. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, okay, let me go click on this episode, because what in the world?
Yeah, watch the episode. That episode is just, yeah. I just, to this day, I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot believe we had that kind of conversation.
Yes, sir. You want the people, y'all. Here's Ezra.
I'm crying.
He wants to be acknowledged. This is my little.
Hey, Ezra.
Say hi to the people, E.
Hi.
Hi. Now, can I finish the episode and then we're gonna do what we do?
I am weak.
Go ahead. I'm for real. I'm on the last bullet. And then we're gonna get food. Love you.
Last bullet.
Mm-hmm. So,
what are you taking into 2022?
What one of your high points was, and trusting God. It was the answer to all of my illusions in my head. It was the answer to taking off my rose-colored glasses to accept. It was the key to me just feeling like an empowered and valued human being again.
Gotcha.
Was God. So that is what, because even through all the chaos and ups and downs, the high points, low points, like that was what I took, I think, from everything this year. In the midst of everything that was going on, I was determined, or I didn't have a choice but to lean on God and trust him. And I was like, man, it's so much easier to live like this. And that's what I'm going to do. So.
Okay. So my first one would be not just trusting God. I really have to learn to trust the process. Yeah. Because even with, like, I tell people all the time, we sold our house, found a house, and moved in 3 weeks. And my anxiety was through the roof, like every single day. But in the end, literally, this process might have been smoother than when we bought our first house. Like everything happened seamlessly. But in the moment, I was just so stressed out. And I was just like, oh my God. So even in trusting God, I really kind of have to learn to let things play out. Because sometimes like I said, need to have that control. Another thing I'm taking in 2022, I'm just so proud of myself, because after 4 to 5 years of trying to do this, I have finally mastered the art of not being other people's business. And I don't mean that in a nosy way. I mean that in I want to help everybody. Right. I think I said this on the gifts I want to give. Like when I see the train wreck happening, I want to stop it for other people. And I can confidently say, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. I will listen. I will give advice if you want me to. If I don't ever hear about it again, that is my assumption that you do not want to talk about it. If I feel like something is wrong or off about it, okay, that is my feelings, and I do not have to voice those feelings. And if you want to voice those feelings to me, then that's okay. But it has just got me into stuff that I just didn't need to be in. It got me into situations I didn't need to be in. And it was always a struggle for me to not just put people before me and, be trying to help them figure out their stuff, and just doing way too much. So I'm going to continue to carry that until whenever, because that is one thing that always irritated me about myself. I knew it was coming from a good place, but damn if it ain't put me in drama.
Yeah.
Not, and sometimes not even mine. Like, it's not even my life. What is happening here?
But be engulfed, because I resonate. Be engulfed like shit was happening to me. Hell yeah.
Like, what? Not my life. How? So yeah, I am taking that with me because Lord knows that has just always been a struggle of mine. And I finally am at the place where, like, okay, like, that's what you want to do. Amazing. Come back to me if something changes. But I am not seeking out the answers because no, just no. So yeah, those are my two things, like trust the process and me just like letting people be. That is definitely going with me in 2022.
And like you said, 2021 taught you anyway, when you stopped looking, the shit just found you. Like, we don't even have to seek a lot of things.
We really don't. We just, impulsive. Yeah, we just want to, see what can happen. So yeah.
Damn, what a eye-opening but satisfying year at the same time. Because it's like, acceptance is satisfaction. I will tell you that. It's not always the easiest thing to implement, but when I tell you, once you do, there is just a level of like, everything is okay. I'm okay, damn it. And people gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. And life can be beautiful. Like,
it literally is going to be fine. We just have to trust that, like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, everything's gonna be fine.
So y'all, don't be afraid. I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep saying this. Do not fear. Well, it's natural to fear the unknown. But yeah. I always say, like, change your perspective. Like, a lot of times, especially if you're in a place of wanting more, like you want things different than what you're used to, it's on the other side of what you've never experienced. You're not gonna get to a place that you've never been by doing the stuff that you've been doing or staying in a place that you've been forever. Like, I feel like fear is just a sign that what you want and your desires are real. Like, and it's scary because you've never experienced it before, but you know it's for you. So like, move through fear, y'all, and don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to pivot. That's all I have.
What Shawana said. Yeah. And trust the process, because y'all, the way I'm set up, if something don't look right, cancel. Like, no. Cancel.
Goodbye.
No, not doing that. So yeah, just see things through, y'all. I know a lot of times it doesn't feel good, and it's just it gives you anxiety, but just see things through sometimes. Yeah, just see it through.
If we ain't saying nothing else, that's what we did this year. We saw it through and it was rewarding.
Literally was just like, all right, like, I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah.
So guys, we didn't want to keep you guys long. Thank you for kicking it with us as always. We are excited about season 3. Make sure you're following us on everything Brown Skin Blueprint, except Twitter. Guys, I don't know what we're gonna do about Twitter. I keep saying
what is Twitter? Is it like
Brown Skin BP Pie? I think
maybe. I
don't know, but the links be in the description boxes, y'all, and all that stuff. Follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and yeah, we thank y'all for rocking with us. If y'all have any questions or topics that y'all want to discuss for next season, feel free to send us a DM or email brownskinblueprint@gmail.com. So we hope y'all have had happy holidays.
Yes.
And a wonderful new year.
Yes, that part.
And we will see y'all next time.
See y'all later. Bye.